wondered what it would have been like to actually fly with the legendary Red Baron, Manfred von Richthofen? Or maybe you've got the urge to be a Top Gun, an ace fighter pilot, a winged warrior. Well, I do. Hi, everybody. I'm Angelo Viola. Welcome to this week's Outdoor Journal. We're coming to you from Niagara-on-the-Lake, Canada, where I'm preparing to go back to school. Air combat school, that is. A little bit later on, we're going to see if I've got what it takes, what it really takes to become a Top Gun. Now, I'm not going to be flying this baby, but believe it or not, I'm actually going to be piloting my own aircraft in a dogfight against another plane. At first, warplanes were just used for reconnaissance. The skies were pretty much a safe place to be for allies and enemies alike. But it didn't take long before somebody figured out a way to mount a gun on an aircraft, and that nasty business of aerial dogfighting began. It took nerves of steel and a sixth sense to become a top dog fighter and not dog meat. Luckily, I don't have to go to war and risk life and limb to get a taste of that thrill.
Welcome to Air Combat Canada.
Thank you, I'm Angelo.
Hi. Nice.
These guys are the real thing. We're talking about pilots of the legendary CF-18 Hornet. Plus, most of them have seen genuine action in the field, including Desert Storm. But I don't think anybody would trust me in a jet fighter, so instead I'll be flying the German-built Extra 300 aerobatic aircraft. With the top speed of over 400 miles per hour, just the thought of flying with these pilots is making me sweat.
Well, we've been planning it and working on it for about the past 3 years, and it started just with a group of fighter pilots sitting around a table and talking about, you know, hey, it's for anybody that really wants to see what it's like to be a combat pilot.
And when they say anybody, they mean anybody. You don't even need a pilot's license to grab the stick and play the Red Baron.
I think generally we're more surprised at how capable people are just naturally going out and flying the aircraft. I guess that's the biggest surprise. We're always looking for any little hints or anything that might be going not the way exactly we want it. But I would say it's people do very well is a general surprise.
What we're bringing people to at Air Combat Canada is the real thing. We're showing them real dogfights. Only the bullets are simulated. So that's what that's our goal, and that's what we give to people is that fighter pilot adventure.
My instructors today will be Paul and Paul. Paul B.J. Ramsbury, who's a crack fighter pilot and tactics officer and weapons instructor, and Paul Pitch Mullner, who's a Top Gun trophy recipient and is now the chief combat instructor. And as for me, well, around here, I'm simply known as Walking Eagle.
Just give us an outline of your past experience with extreme adventures, flight experience, and also where this call sign Walking Eagle came from. Give us some details on that.
You don't need to worry about that. What's wrong with Walking Eagle? It's not like it's sitting duck or chicken liver or anything. That's
Take you around and show you the cockpit, and then we'll do a walk around in the plane and do a strap in, and we'll be ready to go brief.
Wow.
I wanted to put your name up on front today, but...
you didn't put my name down
well, maybe we'll see if we can get some vinyl put on before the trip. I'm going to be sitting in the back seat today.
Okay.
So we're not going to have to wrestle over it, but you're going to be in the front seat. In the back seat here, I've got all the instrumentation, everything that I'll be monitoring the flight. Up front you have an airspeed indicator, an altimeter, and the gun sight, which is what you need to be hammering the blue guy today. Okay.
The trigger.
We've got 9 receivers on the aircraft, okay? And these are the what are going to pick up the laser energy from the other aircraft. Of course, we don't want that on our airplane.
Okay, right.
But on the blue aircraft, this is what we're going to be aiming at.
Why don't we just unscrew?
Well, we can go on these ones. We can
take these
disconnect. Yeah.
Okay. He doesn't have to know.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see if he's around or not.
We're not above that on the Outdoor Journal, by the way.
Well, sometimes we see people trying to put tape over the receivers and that, so they know that they're not going to get targeted. Well, we've got 9 of these. There's 5 of them around the canopy.
Yep.
Okay. So that tells you when we're showing the other aircraft, we're going to want to concentrate our laser around the canopy for the highest probability. It's good out to about 1,250 feet. Most of our shots are going to be from about 800 to 1,000 feet. As you come out here on the along the wing, we've got 1 receiver on each wingtip as well.
So you got them on the wings.
So
wow.
We can take shots looking straight in as well. But there again, if you can get this one and any energy on the around the cockpit area as well, now we're targeting more than 1 receiver, and that's a higher probability of kill for us. If you look underneath, this one's good to know about as well, in that we've got a belly-mounted receiver. So if, for instance, we get behind BJ or underneath him and he doesn't see us here, we can still target the bottom of his aircraft as well by taking shots on that.
Okay.
Okay. Then as we head to the back,
Rudder.
the tail wheel down here, and you've got one tail wheel receiver.
Boy, there's receivers everywhere.
Yeah, and like I said, this is the one where we
Cover it
tape
up.
it up a little bit so they can't take shots at us. Yeah, I'm going to explain a few things in cockpit now, and then we'll get the helmet on, so then you'll be fully outfitted. You don't have quite as much stuff up front as we do in the back.
Thank God.
But you've got everything you need to do aerial combat, which is an airspeed indicator, okay, right here on the left, and an altimeter. Okay, you got the stick here. You'll feel that this is very light. If you've been in other airplanes, that's very, very light, and that's built for that. The aircraft's built to be unstable for aerobatics, unlimited, and it's supposed to be as maneuverable as possible. You'll find though, to get any movement in this plane, it's just like a joystick. You really don't need to move it very much. So that's it. Throttle, back slow, forward fast. I'll take that, throw it back in the front seat. Perfect. And when we come back, next time, we're going flying, okay?
Okay, buddy.
All right.
While we head back over and do the final briefing, why don't you have a look at this week's Off the Beaten Path? Okay, buddy.
Remember the days when soaring the skies meant a piece of paper and creativity? Well, playing with gliders isn't just kids' stuff. Imagine a true-to-life adult toy. Something like this, but much bigger. Now, how about this? They call these things sailplanes or gliders, and it's exactly what I'm going to do today. I'm going to glide high in the sky like a bird in flight. If only my co-pilot, Tom Colson, would come up for air. Tom, how's it going?
Pretty good.
What are you up to?
We're just checking out this, making sure it's safe for flight today.
Now, Tom is the president of SOSA, that's the Soaring Association here in Southern Ontario. What exactly is a glider?
Well, gliders like in other airplanes. It has controls the same as a powered aircraft, except it doesn't have an engine.
Now, how do we get up there?
Well, we get actually towed by a power plane from a rope, and we'll get towed to an altitude and then go and try and find a thermal after that.
Now, what is the thermal? What is the thermal?
Well, thermals are created by the sunlight heating the ground. The ground heats the air next to it, and that hot air rises, and that's what a thermal is. We'll try to fly into that and gain height with it, and through that we can gain height above our release height.
Okay, Tom, I think it's time we test this baby out. What do you say?
Okay, let's go.
All right. So I stick my foot in here.
Right.
It's a lot smaller than I thought. Before I take off, it's time for a few pointers. And Tom's sure the right guy. He gives me a quick lesson on the controls and how to fly this aircraft. But remember, it takes anywhere between 40 and 60 dual flights before you can tackle this alone. And now it's time for the real fun to begin.
Okay, we're going to take off here now.
All right. Oh my gosh. I think I just want to stay on the ground, just like this. Whoa.
And we should go airborne about here.
Are we off the ground now?
We're off the ground.
This is incredible.
Tow plane's off the ground.
This is so smooth. I can't believe it.
And
Wow.
we're starting our climb out.
And fast. This is great. And how high are we going to reach?
We're going to go to 2,000 feet above the ground.
That sounds good to me.
Okay, so we're nearing the release height. I'm actually checking around and make sure there are no other aircraft in the area, so
Okay.
we're safe to release.
I'm getting nervous.
Okay, and that's 2,000 feet, so I'm going to pull the
Okay.
release knob right now. And there's the rope
Oh,
gone.
there goes the plane, and there we go. Oh, I think we're veering to the right just a little bit.
So we went to the
Wow.
right, the tow plane went to the left.
Wow. I think my knees are shaking. Soaring or gliding is a tradition that started way back in the 1920s. And today we reach 2,000 feet, but it's possible to soar anywhere up to 40,000 feet. And these aircraft are smaller than you'd think. The average weight is about 500 pounds, a perfect way to enjoy a bird's eye view of Southern Ontario.
Okay, I want you to try that. You have the controls. Just
Banking
try
to
putting
the right?
nose down.
The nose down. Whoa, whoa, that's a little fast. Okay. Nose down.
That's fine.
Okay.
And then bring the nose back up.
Nose back up. Whoa, I'm getting some speed. All right.
And put it back down to the normal
A little
attitude.
down. How's that?
Okay.
Okay.
I'll look to the right and make sure there's nobody there. So try and roll to the right.
Roll to the right a bit.
Okay.
We are rolling to the right. Okay. There we go.
And there you go. Put the nose back down there.
Down,
Let it
nose
rise up
down
when
just
you
a
did
bit.
that.
There we go, and back up.
Okay.
How am I doing?
That's pretty good.
This is amazing. Like any good co-pilot, it's best to leave the landing to the expert. Oh. That was pretty impressive. Pretty good landing. So what do you say, co-pilot?
Hey, you did well.
It was a lot of fun. Thanks a lot.
You're very welcome.
You gotta try this. Check it out. Now listen, it was so scary when you did that 45.
Coming up, I learned how to be an airborne pit bull in a dogfight. And now, back to the Outdoor Journal. It's school time at Air Combat Canada. There's more than just hopping into a plane and blasting away. There's a lot of thinking and strategy that goes into a good dogfight.
Well, you've seen, you've sat inside there now. We showed you some of the basic
Feels
aircraft, how to fly turns, and
Yeah.
we've also seen the parachute strapped in and some of the flight safety aspects. We're going to take you through a briefing now. It's going to be building block approach. You're going to find that when you get out in the airplane that the light bulb's going to come on, and you'll have no problem doing any of this. Plus, at some point during the trip, we got to find out what walking eagle means too. Sometime you're gonna give us a little input into that.
This may be a game, but the way these guys are talking about it, you'd think it was for real.
Leads to what we want to do is employ a lethal gun attack in less than 2 minutes. Okay, we're going to be in the red aircraft all day. Okay, so we're going to be in the red one. The bad guy for us today, simulated by BJ, is going to be in the blue aircraft. So
This is stuff these guys didn't just learn from a textbook. They've seen real action behind the stick of a
Number
CF-18.
2, the longer we can hold this guy off, the better chance maybe he makes a mistake and we're able to neutralize or get offensive on him.
Now it's BJ's turn to give me some tips on the finer art of blasting bandits out of the sky.
98% of air combat is simply knowing how to turn and when, and being very skillful at knowing how to turn is not nearly as important as knowing when to turn. And you're always flying with respect to the other aircraft. We've taken a look at the engagements. We've seen the offensive tools we're going to use, the defensive tools, and how we're going to defend ourselves fighting. We've touched briefly on the neutral game plan, but this is what Pitch and you are going to go discuss right now. If you guys want to get together now, go in the other room, develop your tactics to fight against the bandit, which is going to be me today.
That's going to be easy, putting something together against you.
Okay.
Let's go put it together. Well, Pitch and I develop a game plan, I guess. Why don't you have a look at this week's Surviving the Outdoors, and we'll see you on the tarmac.
Let's see. Perfect. Classic example. Not bad. Not bad. Take note of this, folks. Not bad at all. I learned 2 survival tips the other day that I think are very important and everybody should know if you're going in the outdoors. The first one, now I've never thought about this, but once I was told it, I thought about it, and I said, hey, yeah, why is that? Whenever somebody gets lost, you always hear about them going in a circle. They always seem to end up going in circles, back to the same spot, back to the same spot. Do you know why that is? Well, I've been told this, I don't know this for sure, but physically, all of us have one leg shorter than the other one. Now, physics say that if you don't know your bearings and you keep walking and walking and walking, you will eventually go in circles. I guess we have to believe that. Somebody told me that, I'm going to believe them. Now, what I'm doing today, this is a really important point. And you're in the woods and there's moss on the trees. You'll notice that the moss is really high on this part of the tree only. Now, it goes right around the tree, but it goes really high on this side. Well, moss generally grows in the shade, okay? So what's happening here, by the sun rising in the east and setting in the west, the south side has the most sun exposure and the north side has the most shade. So this moss has a tendency to grow up higher in the shade. It'll grow around here because it's not always sunny all the day long. It goes higher in the shade. So you know that that's north. So whatever direction you want to go, you base it by that. I got to go north today, I'm going to go north. As simple as that. Great tip. Look at that. Unreal.
Today's episode of the Outdoor Journal takes us to one of Ontario's most picturesque towns, Niagara-on-the-Lake. Easy to reach via superhighway from almost all of Ontario and the northeast U.S., Niagara-on-the-Lake is a short 90-minute drive from Toronto. Summer temperatures range from 60 degrees Fahrenheit in early June to July's highs in the mid-80s. No matter what the season, Niagara is a wonderful vacation destination. Coming up, I, Walking Eagle, will take to the skies and show them I'm no chicken. And now, back to the Outdoor Journal. Now, I've just been classroom trained, briefed, and debriefed. It's now time to take to the skies.
I got to ask you one more time,
Yeah.
because you still haven't told us. What's Walking Eagle? Are you going to tell us that today or no?
Yeah, well, don't worry about it for now.
Oh, really? It's not really significant?
It's not really a big deal.
Okay.
You know. Now, keep your eye on the red plane. That's Pitch and I. We're out to do some serious scrapping in the skies. BJ will be the bandit in the blue, and soon you'll feel the force of the Walking Eagle. Should I be laughing at him?
We're going to go hammer him.
I somehow doubt if back in the days of the Red Baron, he'd be so friendly before a battle.
Oh, it can't get any better than that, then.
As I said before, one of the greatest parts about all this is that you don't need to be a licensed pilot to actually fly the plane. My instructor will take care of all the genuinely dangerous stuff like landing and taking off. That leaves me with all the fun stuff like shooting down the bogey. That's dogfight talk for bad guys.
What do you want me to do? Try turn to the right. That's it. Feel the G. Perfect. Now your nose is level. That's great. Let's go all the way around, 360 degrees. To the right? Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice turn. That's great. Your nose is, now let's keep going to the right. I'll just show you one thing. Now when your nose drops, if you don't want it to, all you do is you roll off a bit of bank and you pull a bit more just to keep it level on the horizon. Yeah. Okay, now let's reverse it to the left. So you level us off, and now we try it back to the left. And we're looking out inside our turn, making sure that there's nobody coming. That's it. How you liking this? This is wild. This is insane. That is great. Good work. Okay, now you're pulling it up. That's awesome. And this is what we would use to go vertical. We can't loop out here because of the airspace, but that's what you would do. And you see our airspeed's coming back. Ready to go kick some butt? Yeah. All right. He is toast. All right, let's go hammer him. Woo! We're going to put the sight on him, and as soon as it's on him, start pulling on the trigger. There he goes. Oh, we're just a bit to the left. Now, I don't have the circle on. Oh, there it is. There it is. The sun's probably washing it out a bit. We have a rain. Okay, you help me put him on there. Remember, pull the aircraft up to the box, then lift through the box. There we go. Awesome. Very smooth. Okay, a lot of trigger here. Let's put it on him. That's it. Oh! That's a kill. Good shoot. Okay, he's trying to get a shot on us. Okay, let's get out of the way.
I've been in stunt planes before, but this is a whole different experience. And even though I'm shooting beams of safe laser light, I can't help but get caught up in the excitement of it all.
My God! Okay, that's it. We'll just take it up vertical a little. All right. Flip back on the stick just a bit more. Perfect.
This is where all my training comes into play. Although I wish I had spent more time playing a flight simulator on my computer before I came up here. Oh well, take that, you evil BJ. This sky isn't big enough for the two of us.
Side now. Okay. Got him now. Got him. There he is. Woo-hoo! Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you doing up front? Good. Looking good. We're almost on him.
And this is where the mighty Walking Eagle gets his just reward. Ha! Laugh at my name, will you? I bet nobody made fun of the Red Baron.
Good work out there, Walking Eagle. Thank you there, Pitch. Any comments? He was easy. I think you hammered him. Piece of cake. All right, now that we've done some severe schwacking of the bandit, are you going to tell me why you're called Walking Eagle?
Oh, all right. I guess you deserve it by now. I spent some time recently with some Native Americans on an Indian village, and I got to spend some time with this old Indian chief who was showing me the way of the native people. And everybody on in the village had a name, so he gave me a name, and it was Walking Eagle, and I thought it was because of some characteristic that I demonstrated, maybe of strength or integrity or something, you know. And after a few days, I asked him what it meant, and he basically told me that I was so full of that I couldn't fly.